Listening is an act of love. Thank you. You can help lift up the voices, stories, and challenges we share by making a contribution at thiswayout.org.
A sincere thank you to all of you who already support This Way Out. Your support matters.
I'm Elena Botkin-Levy.
And I'm Michael LeBeau.
With NewsWrap, a summary of some of the news in or affecting LGBTQ communities around the world for the week ending February 26, 2022. Russian tanks are rolling in, and many queer Ukrainians are fleeing the capital, Kyiv, and other major cities. Others are vowing to stay and fight. Even though LGBTQ people are not generally well treated by their fellow Ukrainians, queer life in Vladimir Putin's Russia is far worse. Olena Shevchenko of the LGBTQ rights group Insight told Reuters, "It will not be possible for LGBTQ people to stay, especially if it is a long occupation." Timur Lervchuk has already left the capital. The co-founder of the LGBTQ rights organization Fulcrum made it with his family to the western city of Lviv near the Polish border early on February 25th. He said, "LGBTQ people felt unsafe before, but now they have a much higher level of feeling unsafe." Andrei Kravchuk of Ukraine's LGBTQ Nashmir Center said by email that he and his partner were also thinking of leaving Kyiv. He wrote, "My boyfriend and I already have the experience of living under shelling, and we know what will happen next. It is difficult to withstand constant tension and listen to every sound outside the window." Kyiv Pride is looking to the world for support. The group defied the Russian invasion on Twitter, saying, "We remain strong, we are not intimidated. Putin lives in the past." From nearby Georgia, Tbilisi Pride tweeted, "We stand with the brave people of Ukraine."
Street demonstrations are protesting the Russian invasion of Ukraine in many Western nations, even in Russia itself. Putin's propaganda pal, Donald Trump, remains one of his only supporters, and some observers are starting to compare the Russian dictator's mental state to that of the delusional former U.S. president. Putin claims that his goal is the denazification of Ukraine, but Nazis are clearly not who he's after. First on his list is the democratically elected president Volodymyr Zelensky, a Jew whose relatives were killed during the Holocaust. An anonymous U.S. State Department official told Foreign Policy that Russian hit squads could be targeting political opponents and members of other vulnerable groups if Putin succeeds in setting up a pro-Kremlin puppet regime in Ukraine. An unnamed Biden administration official says that the United States has been in contact with LGBTQ Ukrainians and others in the crosshairs. They told the Washington Blade, "We have engaged directly with these populations to direct them to programs that offer emergency assistance to address relocation, medical expenses, or other unexpected costs. And we have engaged with allies and partners to try to ensure that those who must flee Ukraine have somewhere to go." When queer men started fleeing the anti-queer pogrom in the Russian region of Chechnya, the Canada-based organization Rainbow Railroad became known for helping the refugees to safety. Their February 24th media statement said that they are concerned about the impact this conflict will have on Ukraine's LGBTQI+ community. We are preparing, in consultation with our partners, possible ways we can help people at risk in the region.
On the same day that the first Western sanctions were imposed on Russia for invading Ukraine, 2 queer siblings were sentenced to lengthy prison terms in a Chechen court. According to Amnesty International, one is gay and the other is trans. They were convicted on charges that include breach of the country's security laws, providing food to a Chechen militant, and complicity with illegal armed formations, charges human rights activists deny. 21-year-old Selek Magamodov was sentenced to 8 years in prison. 19-year-old Ismail Isaev got 6 years. They were moderators of a youth-led Telegram channel that contained posts critical of the Chechen regime. The prosecution relied on forced apology videos that the siblings made after reported physical abuse. Selek and Ismail first came to the attention of Chechen authorities in 2019 when an officer found an LGBTQ pride flag on Ismail's mobile phone. The siblings have been in and out of jail ever since. Their attempt to flee the country was thwarted in February 2021 when their Moscow safe house was leaked and security agents returned them to Chechnya. The Russian LGBTQ network's North Caucasus SOS represented the siblings in court. Their press release says simply, "Today's verdict of the Chechen court is a crime against common sense."
India's National Medical Commission is joining the growing international movement against conversion therapy. The commission told the Madras High Court this week that practitioners should be prosecuted for professional misconduct. Conversion therapy's claims that a combination of counseling and prayer can guide LGBTQ people back onto the straight and narrow have been utterly discredited. The Commission's declaration came as a result of a lesbian couple seeking protection from repeated police harassment against them and their supportive parents. The court hearing was adjourned to April 8th for reporting compliance.
A queer activist in Mexico is the owner of the country's first birth certificate with a non-binary gender marker. Fausto Martinez petitioned the National Electoral Institute in September to list their gender as NB on all official documents. A judge ruled for Martinez in late January in what is known as an amparo in the Mexican judicial system. The Guanajuato Civil Registry issued them a new non-binary birth certificate on February 11th. Martinez said in a tweet after they received their new birth certificate, "I have always said, what is not named does not exist." Mexico's Foreign Affairs Ministry announced in January that transgender people who were born in the country could get an amended birth certificate at any Mexican consulate. Activist Mateo de la Torre received his at the Mexican consulate in Washington, D.C., after the new policy took effect. He told the Washington Blade, "This birth certificate comes after a decade of living in my truth as a transgender man and after years of advocating for my right to be recognized as such." In a related report from the Spanish news outlet Agencia EFESA, El Salvador's Constitutional Chamber of the Supreme Court of Justice ordered Congress this week to change laws to allow a simple change of name based on gender identity on all legal documents.
Finally, Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill passed by a vote of 69 to 47 in the State House on February 24th, mostly along party lines. It now returns to the Senate, edging closer to the supportive signature of spotlight-seeking racist and anti-queer Governor Ron DeSantis. Amid a flurry of anti-queer measures infecting Republican-controlled U.S. states, Don't Say Gay has received the most attention. It would prohibit schools from encouraging classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity through the third grade or in a manner that is not age-appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. The definition of encouraging is unclear, and critics worry that other language in the measure threatens to impact classroom discussion in all grades. After widespread condemnation, the bill's House sponsor, Jim Harding, withdrew an amendment to require school officials to out LGBTQ kids to their parents. The bill is backed by arguments of religious freedom, the supremacy of parental authority, and above all, safety. But for whom? The founder and executive director of the Christian Family Coalition of Florida, Anthony Verdugo, told Miami's WTVJ,
"The primary goal is to keep children safe. And when children go to school, they're supposed to learn reading, writing, arithmetic. They're not supposed to be indoctrinated into ideology. These conversations need to be had in the home with family members."
Good luck with being safe if your dad is Anthony Verdugo.
That's NewsWrap, global queer news with attitude for the week ending February 26th, 2022. Follow the news in your area and around the world. An informed community is a strong community.
NewsWrap is written by Greg Gordon, edited by Lucia Chappelle, produced by Brian DeShazer, and brought to you by you.
Help keep us in ears around the world at thiswayout.org, where you can also read the text of this newscast and much more.
And you can read the transcript and listen to NewsWrap each week by subscribing to our This Way Out radio channel on YouTube. For This Way Out, I'm Michael LeBeau. Stay healthy.
And I'm Elena Botkin-Levy. Stay safe.
This Way Out delivers LGBTQ news and culture to more than 150 local communities on radio stations around the world. And we are also a free online news service.
You can choose your favorite way to listen, online or on the air, at thiswayout.org.
Please sign up for our free e-newsletter, Inside This Way Out.
We'll respect your trust in us and make sure your personal information is never shared with others.
Just send us an email at info@thiswayout.org to receive the informative and unique addition to the show.
You'll be invited to join us for a more in-depth look into our stories and be encouraged to learn more about This Way Out's 3 decades of broadcast activism.
We hope you choose to join us in celebration of LGBTQ history and culture.
Email us at info@thiswayout.org to join the movement.
We'll make sure you always know what's going on inside This Way Out.